Welcome to a world where every secret has a price and every lie can shatter a life. Imagine thinking your child was lost forever, only to receive a shocking call decades later that turns everything upside down. Behind calm smiles and everyday routines, hidden betrayals fester, twisting love into manipulation and loyalty into deception. Every memory, every cherished moment you've held onto becomes a haunting reminder of what was stolen, forcing a collision between grief, anger, and the raw, unfiltered truth. And as one revelation sparks another, the hidden misdeeds and secrets of those you trusted most are exposed, igniting a chain reaction that will change everything forever. This is more than drama. This is a story of lost innocence, shocking betrayals, and a reckoning that demands justice. Buckle up because nothing in this family will ever be the same. The phone rang at 3 a.m., and the world felt like it fractured into 1,000 jagged pieces. The voice on the other end carried words that were almost impossible to process. The daughter, thought buried and mourned for over 3 decades, was alive. Every second that followed was a blur of disbelief, confusion, and a pulse of cold anger that ran straight through the heart. Memories long cherished, the tiny shoes folded neatly in a drawer, the photos on the wall, the birthday candles lit and absent hope, all seemed to mock a grief that had been so carefully carried for 31 years. Questions poured like a river over a dam, demanding answers that no one seemed willing to give. How could a hospital make such a call after all this time? And more importantly, why had no one spoken the truth before? The life once trusted, the marriage built on vows and shared dreams, suddenly felt like a house of cards. Each recollection of love and loyalty now carried a whisper of deceit, a shadow of betrayal that had gone unnoticed for decades. The husband, once considered a pillar of honesty and protection, now seemed like the architect of a secret that had torn the very fabric of the family apart. Every glance, every whispered promise remembered, now felt like part of a script written to conceal a lie so deep it could destroy everything. Anger surged, not just at the long-buried lie, but at the quiet complicity that allowed it to fester. There was no excuse for hiding a truth that had the power to haunt, to fracture hearts, and to erase years of mourning. The weight of 31 years pressed down like an iron fist, each heartbeat a reminder of loss and deception. It became clear that the past wasn't just a memory, it was a weapon, carefully wielded to manipulate and control. Every tear shed, every silent night spent longing for a child had been stolen by the betrayal that had always been closer than anyone suspected. And now, the time had come to confront it, to demand answers, and to unravel the web of lies spun by the person once trusted most. The night air carried the chilling thought. A life believed lost could be reclaimed, but only by exposing every hidden betrayal that had allowed this illusion to persist for far too long. Every day had worn a mask of normalcy, a quiet routine that suggested stability and trust. But beneath that carefully constructed calm, the cracks had always been there, hidden in plain sight. Little inconsistencies, hushed phone calls, and unexplained absences had once been dismissed as trivial, but now they throbbed like an open wound, revealing a tapestry of lies woven over decades. What had seemed like love and loyalty was, in hindsight, a meticulous performance designed to conceal something far darker. The husband, whose presence had once felt like a shield, now appeared as the center of a labyrinth of deceit. Every conversation remembered, every promise made now carried the weight of suspicion. Hidden agendas lurked behind smiles, whispered excuses, and the carefully curated image of a perfect family. Even the people closest had unknowingly played roles in a story that had been rewritten in secret, each act of trust exploited to maintain the illusion. Evidence of manipulation began to surface in the most ordinary moments: a document misplaced, a financial detail questioned, a casual mention of events that didn't align. Each revelation hit like a hammer to the chest, exposing the extent of the betrayal. It became clear that nothing had been accidental. Every secret, every concealed truth had been part of a plan to control and deceive, leaving scars that no one could see until now. The rawness of the emotions was suffocating: anger, disbelief, sorrow, and the cold, sharp clarity that comes only when trust has been utterly shattered. The realization that what had been assumed sacred was in fact fragile and contaminated sparked a relentless determination. There would be no ignoring this, no pretending the past could be forgotten. Every carefully hidden secret demanded exposure, every lie called for confrontation, and every betrayal had to face the light. The quiet life once taken for granted had been an illusion, and now the truth was poised to break free, shaking the foundation of everything believed to be safe, sacred, and real. The night held its breath as the reckoning began. The pain of loss had long been a quiet companion, a dull ache that settled into the bones like an unshakable shadow. But when the truth finally surfaced, it collided violently with the anger of deception, unleashing a storm that could no longer be contained. Every memory once held close now burned with betrayal. Photos, letters, and mementos that had been cherished for years became instruments of torment, reminders of a life stolen, a time lost to lies that should never have existed. It was impossible to separate grief from rage. The husband, whose presence had always promised safety, now emerged as the architect of this devastation. Every carefully measured word, every tender gesture, seemed now to carry the weight of manipulation. The life that had been built on trust and shared moments revealed itself as a facade, a carefully constructed stage for hiding the deepest treacheries. Questions that had once seemed intrusive now demanded answers, and the answers that came were like knives twisting in the chest, exposing secrets that no one should have carried alone. Even the smallest details, an overheard conversation, a hidden document, a carefully discarded receipt, took on terrifying significance. They spoke of choices made in secrecy, of deliberate actions meant to control, to erase, to manipulate. Anger surged, raw and unrelenting, mingled with the sorrow of years mourned for someone who had been taken away not by fate, but by lies. Every cherished memory became a battlefield, each recollection a confrontation with the truth that had been deliberately hidden. And yet, amidst the chaos of emotion, a clarity emerged. The love once felt could no longer exist in ignorance. It demanded recognition of what had truly occurred. Resentment, sharp and biting, became a weapon, a lens through which the world could finally be seen without the comforting lies. It was not enough to grieve. The deception had to be confronted, its architects revealed, its consequences faced. The heart, once broken quietly in sorrow, now throbbed with determination. Every stolen moment, every hidden truth, every betrayal concealed in plain sight had to be accounted for, and nothing would remain unchallenged. The reckoning was inevitable. The search for answers began as a quiet determination, but quickly spiraled into a whirlwind of revelations that no one could have anticipated. Each question asked opened a door that had long been sealed, revealing a chain of betrayals carefully hidden behind smiles and reassurances. Every truth uncovered exposed not just mistakes, but deliberate misdeeds, each one layered with deception so precise it had gone unnoticed for years. The husband, once trusted completely, emerged as the central figure in a web of manipulation, lies, and clandestine schemes that had quietly controlled the course of the family's life. The deeper the search went, the more twisted the story became. Long forgotten events resurfaced with new meaning, every conversation remembered in vivid detail, now painted with suspicion and betrayal. Friends and relatives, once considered allies, were suddenly implicated as unwitting participants in the concealment of truths that should have never been hidden. Each revelation struck with the force of a hammer, shaking the foundation of everything built on assumed honesty and loyalty. Anger and disbelief collided in a storm of emotion. How could someone so loved, so seemingly devoted, orchestrate such a deliberate betrayal? Every memory of trust and tenderness now carried the sting of deception, forcing the heart to confront not only the loss of the past, but the manipulations that had shaped the present. The husband's carefully guarded secrets, once invisible, now demanded accountability. Every lie uncovered became a weapon in the reckoning, a tool to expose the calculated measures taken to hide the truth for decades. And yet, amidst the chaos, there was clarity. The past could no longer be ignored, and the present demanded justice. The family, shaken to its core, faced the consequences of years of hidden decisions, forced to navigate the fallout of secrets long buried. Confrontations erupted, alliances shifted, and the carefully maintained facade of normalcy crumbled under the weight of undeniable truth. No corner of the life once taken for granted remained untouched, no deception went unchallenged, and no betrayal remained unpunished. The reckoning had arrived, and nothing would ever be the same.
If this story gripped you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales that expose betrayal, raw emotions, and shocking family secrets. Hit the bell so you never miss a twist where the past collides with the present and every hidden truth comes to light. Share this story with someone who loves suspense and join the journey into lives turned upside down by secrets, lies, and unforgettable revelations. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the truth hurts, but it's the only way to reclaim what's been stolen.